So each divider is a 5 line, so that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say you have a rank 7, you put it right above that rank, so now you know you have a rank.
You can't probably see it, but they say like spot frailty, laws of tradition, burglary. So I'm gonna do a spend of laws of tradition. Yeah. It's pretty cool. This is probably more love than anybody has ever given this sort of thing ever. To be fair, it is a new game. It's not even published yet. We get our physical books next month. So it is like, it is new, and it is so you're early.
I mean, I love it, so obviously.
I think it's a great system. But we're here to talk about other things I'm going through. We're here to talk about.
Wait, hold on, Dave. Turn that speaker so it's facing down. I don't want the people downstairs to hear this. It's a secret. We're here to talk about playing games online. What do you know about playing games online?
I know that you can do it.
Sure.
No, a little bit. Even pre-COVID, I do transition to gaming online. Small towns.
Wait, you were playing online games before COVID? Oh, I see. Because small towns, you don't have people around.
Correct.
Yeah. Wait, but wait, is this from before you were in Belmont, or? Okay. Where were you from before Belmont? Where's Mifflin County, Brendan? Yeah. Where's Mifflin County, RJ?
I don't know, I'm from New York.
It's the next county over.
Okay. Okay, good. So
Before that.
It's Mifflin Town is
There's a
not
whole lot of
Mifflin
difference
County.
going on.
I heard Netflix Town, and I was like, no.
Netflix Town, where they make all the Netflix.
Yeah.
That's scary. What?
Come on with the Netflix stuff.
No.
They just pump out shit.
but you've had an online presence for a while now.
Yeah.
I think you've been online since pre-COVID. You've been doing it wasn't quite running games, but like the social media presence.
I was running games in the shadows. So I have been doing online stuff for about 5 years. That's actually how I got interested and started playing tabletop games. And I did it in the shadows. That way people couldn't ask me to be their DM or play with them. But I had so many games that I'm like, Jesus, I couldn't even
Who were
imagine.
you playing with? How did you? If you're doing this so that nobody knows you play, you're secretly playing. Okay, so you just find who's the one looking for games.
Yeah. And with Discord, there's also one-shot games that you can just get a feel for how to play the systems and test out characters.
Aaron, come join us. We're talking about playing games online. Aaron's played
Aaron, what was the first D&D game you played online? You had to play online instead of in person.
Oh, God, that was the disaster. That was the game where somebody was playing.
Yep. So this is the perfect segue. So what she's saying, the disaster was March 2020. We are like 12 months into a campaign, reaching the final leg. This is Ancients Alive, right? You were there. You were in that campaign too. And we, like, right at the end, you guys had, so 4 MacGuffins, collect all the MacGuffins, save the day. You guys had like 3 of the MacGuffins, and we're ready to go into the final leg, and COVID, which is, we're in the same town, and we can't even go down the street to play anymore. We have to do everything online at that point. And so QuelmarCon got a Discord. That's how that happened.
So I want to hop on that right quick because I don't need this. So I was playing in a real world campaign as well. Like there was a point in time where I forgot my memory just for 3 to 5 years, I was DMing a campaign, and we met every Saturday from 5 to 2 a.m. and we played. And sometimes we would stop, whatever. But when COVID hit, the mentalities of the people involved and like how we could actually get together, we all lived like hours away from each other. Like this was like our one day, so we just cut. People were moving because of COVID as well. They went back to their families and they said like, oh, we can't really, and it was like, I don't know if it's worth our, if we can, when you're moving, get there, start the re-campaign, and then not have that same, so our campaign just stopped into the void. we were playing that game religiously.
It never ended. It just.
I said, this is the end.
That's all you can do. Yeah. But there's definitely growing pains. So you guys remember like trying to run games online for the first time, like learning the UI, like Roll20, I still don't think I know how to use it.
Yeah, it's incredible how like it was designed for this thing. It's the worst thing to do.
See, and that was the trick with Roll20. I would play in these one-shot games to see how they played. And if they used a lot of the Roll20 stuff, I realized it was bogging down the game. So when it came to like playing and running games with Roll20, we would use the system, but we wouldn't necessarily use it as like the caveat to actually play the game. We would talk through it, we would set up the game, sometimes use the character sheets on it. But when it came to the more complicated stuff, we would go offline and use the game.
It's like a fancy Zoom room, right? That's really all it needs to be is just a place to talk and chat. You know, that's why Discord worked for us originally.
And to this day, they're still not optimized for me.
Wait, okay, so you can't play a roll. I
I've played Roll20 on my phone. It is excruciating. Yeah.
Wow.
I got used to Roll20 itself, but you said, like you said, it bogs it down once you start. I bought books on it.
Yeah. Oh wait, you guys don't know this. Kyle owns like all of the D&D books you could ever want from the Roll20 marketplace.
Damn.
It's where he got it from, and it is like every time I remember that fact, I like have to bow my head and just remember like I'm so sorry. We have Greedy Green, this new campaign that me and Kyle both worked on DMing, and it's like I've got all the books and Dave's got all the books and Kyle's got a really cool Roll20 account.
I had to go out and buy almost every except for the player's handbook.
Oh my god. Yeah. But for that reason, I have to imagine that unlike me, you are very proficient in Roll20 now. Like,
Oh yeah, I still run weekly games.
yeah.
It serves its purpose. And I tried other ones. I tried Fantasy Grounds.
Oh Lord.
No, that was.
I did that for another campaign for like a good year and a half. It was gross, but it was neater than Roll20 is.
It's nice.
Neater, yeah.
It looks pretty, but I played when I used to do streaming, or be in the streaming sphere. I was in a Conan campaign that they converted, modded into Fantasy Grounds. That was okay, but when I tried to do it with D&D out of the box, it didn't.
You have to buy a lot of supplements. And I figure that's a lot of the problem with digital media nowadays. That there's no congruency of like, okay, I want to play, I have to buy how many things? Isn't there like a way for me to like not do this twice?
So you can still, to this day, 5th edition came out 2014, 2015. You cannot buy from Wizards of the Coast a player's handbook PDF.
Yeah, correct.
All these years, 7-8 years later, you cannot get the most basic book in a PDF format. You can get it in a proprietary Roll20.
You know why? Because of that goal.
Somehow everyone has it. Nobody's had to buy it.
It's so weird. It's like magic. Like the PDF versions of this book just pop up everywhere.
Crazy.
The world will find a way, especially if it's digital.
Yo ho ho ho.
Kelly, do you have a copy of the Player's Handbook in PDF form? Do you have a PDF of the Player's Handbook? No. Do you want a PDF of the Player's Handbook? I'm sorry, you can't have it. Wizards of the Coast does not sell the Player's Handbook as a PDF.
I'm not entirely sure. I feel bad for questioning you on this, but you might be able to get it off of D&D.
Yeah, you can get it's like a website version.
You still can't download it?
Correct. So you can get the player's handbook and you can open it in D&D Beyond, all the chapters, everything, even the images. But it's like a website.
And there's limitations on that website as well to like certain things.
And you're paying $30.
Yes. Oh.
You know, buy it on Roll20, buy it on Fantasy Grounds, buy it on D&D Beyond. And it's like they don't convert, you can't trade them out. If you got the physical book, you can't like be like, I bought the book, I'll just go get the PDF.
Pokemon did
Books
that
do
at
that.
some point.
Yeah, they-
I loved it because as a kid I was like, I'll never use this. But like the concept of buying something and it having a code saying this one's mine, and even if someone tries to use that same code elsewhere, they can't. That's like a way to make that next streaming service, like you know how they branch off certain shows are only one thing. Only one thing. If you want to watch all the shows, you gotta do all the streamings.
It's not even that hard to make like a downloadable version of the book with DRM.
Not even with DRM. You would think that that's what they could do. Nothing.
They probably don't want to do that because it's D&D.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why.
They just made that hefty purchase. They want to ride that.
Well, you know, now that they own D&D Beyond, maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe something's coming, right?
I mean, the code might 5.5 might have a media version. Possible.
Miguel, I've got a question for the audience.
Not from the audience, but for the audience.
Question for the audience.
Yeah, question for the audience, Miguel. How many games have you run online?
How many games have I run online? Not streamed, but online. I think 3 or 4.
Okay, you've got some experience. And why did you run those games online?
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was a pandemic a couple of years ago. And,
Yeah.
and I had no choice.
Have you run any games online since, you know, quarantine sort of ended and people got vaccines and stuff?
Yes.
So you're saying COVID it introduced online gaming, but it has persisted even after COVID.
Yeah.
So COVID kind of did a little good for the RPG community.
I think it also elevated the sense of wanting to play. Like, before it was like, but now because it's a digital medium and being able to be wherever you are and connect with your friends that you probably won't see in person, there was this avenue for like digital Jackbox games is another element where it was a game where you just put in a code and you can play with your friends.
Accessibility, right? Right? You don't even have to put on pants if you can play an RPG.
Put on pants.
I have it's the panel wearing pants.
Pants are optional on the Goblin.
Pants are optional on the Goblin World. That's right.
Now, what? So you say you still play online. What platform do you play on? Like, how do you guys play your games?
Mostly Discord.
Okay.
I have a set of friends who, for some reason, dislikes Discord, and they play on Zoom. And I avoid playing with them because I hate Zoom.
As a person who has done both of those mediums extensively, Discord has come along. Discord in 4 years ago, trying to play games online 4 years ago, the audio quality was rough, there was some latency there, which if you're gaming, if you're role-playing, the latency is killer. You're stepping on...
That was, Aaron was saying that our first Ancient Alive games on Discord when we did the Switch were painful because like Discord stepped up over the pandemic, right? And when we first made that switch because we had to, it was like, this is all we had, we were gonna make it work, but like, the video quality being crunched. Like I was showing you guys battle maps and it was like, okay, so this pixel is me, right?
I think my experience when it comes to Discord gaming is I was doing the Roll20 thing for so long that I hopped on when everything was starting to get fixed. So I like Discord because it can be separated into the different channels. You can actually plan your content, make secret rooms, and like deal with things in that kind of sort of way. That Zoom I just felt was like,
Does Roll20 let you split the voice chat and like do one-on-ones with DMs?
I only know whispers. I only know like that's gross. I mean, it's gross.
I did not know that.
Yes, visual and audio
I haven't used it for D&D role playing things like that, but I've used it for for Magic, both before and during the pandemic.
I'd love to hear more about how Magic the Gathering adjusted
Oh
to the
my
pandemic.
god.
No, I use a thing called Tabletop Sim. It's a game. That was really useful. It's like I could just go online, get a deck list, put it in something, export it, and throw it in, and then set up a table where I could have like 4, 8, 10 people playing the game at once.
Tabletop Sim fascinates me because it's like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds and all that. Like they have all the algorithms and all the fancy stuff to make the game easy. You know, pre-filled like automated character sheets and all that. And Tabletop Sim, for the most part, unless you get some really fancy fucking mods, it's like here's the pieces. Like you're sitting at the board, you do all the work. And it's like,
I will say,
I did enjoy that when I was
has anyone here played D&D through Tabletop Sim or another RPG of any kind? Yeah? How'd that go?
I bought Tabletop Simulator. I played it once. That was it. That's all I needed. Now for Magic, though, that would be great for Magic because you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to have all these outside rolls and everything. You know what you get. You know what you're getting with the Magic cards. So that sounds like a good idea. But it's just, it was cumbersome. It was like you're slowly picking up pieces. You're slowly doing things. If I were to go back to something 3D like that, which I'm, I like to dabble with the idea of Tailspire. I don't know if you've ever seen Tailspire. It is beautiful.
I get a lot of targeted ads for Tailspire.
It is so beautiful. And they have a community that mods, like it creates mods for you to be able to like tweak your game how you want. Something I'd like to get into, but it's just not coming back to the physical world. I'm trying to keep it at arm's length.
I know about getting back to the real world, but Tabletop Simulator allowed me to play like 40K Warhammer, and I realized, wow, it's cheap to play on tabletop. Wow, I can actually play this game without people about it.
I don't have to spend thousands of dollars to play competitive EDH anymore.
The only reason why I didn't want to use Tabletop Simulator for Magic was because I wanted to have it mobile in a sense. So untap by in, and there was other mediums that allow you to play online that I was like, this is neat. But then they didn't come out till later. So all these like newer versions see like the issues, I think, of these first generations. And then they're like, well, how can we like profit off the better version of this? And then that's when we get the next version of XYZ, because the first person who did it says, dang, we can't just be old Discord. We gotta become new Discord before Zoom makes it a thing. And I think that arms race of digital media is beneficial to the person who's like late in the game, like the beginners of D&D now, or someone who doesn't know what Magic is and doesn't want to spend the thousands of dollars to play Warhammer or Magic. They can go on one of these mediums. And I wish people knew about it, but they typically don't until someone who's in the system says, try out Telford or try out this system, because I know that from my experience it works this way.
I mean, that's how I got you on Arcane Forge. Arcane Forge.
Yep.
Craig, you wanna use Arcane Forge?
Give me it for free.
I can give you a discount code.
I think I might have to.
Oh, or if you want a copy of Arcane Forge, over here at the Silent Auctions, Arcane Forge has donated an entire Player's Master's Toolkit
Yep, you can bid on
for
it.
the very, very low starting price of I don't know, but you might be able to get it for a very cheap price this weekend. Entire Arcane Forge Toolkit.
It has stuff that even I don't have.
Last thing that I want to say about Tabletop Sim, so like those are some valid complaints, and I haven't, I haven't experienced it for actual tabletop role-playing games, but there is some stuff that I have seen with it that is really interesting, and I want to hear your opinion on on how you think it would be in a RPG kind of setting. But I know that they have a VR mode in tabletop.
Yeah, VR tabletop sim. Not just tabletop sim. There are other VR applications out there. It's getting a little ridiculous because the market has gotten so big for digital gaming.
Demio or something?
Demio, yeah. Yeah.
Is that anything?
It's a standalone game.
Okay.
And it's good, but it's a standalone.
Have you guys seen some of these really ridiculous ways that they're trying to stand out from the crowd? So I saw one just recently that they're like play Dungeons and Dragons in AR, and it's like you put your camera at the board and the models of the miniatures pop up on the camera, and then you're all playing D&D, but you're all looking through your camera at a blank table, with the idea being like you can put any miniatures you want, you can have any maps you want, but you have to play the whole damn game looking through the camera of the phone.
Like that's the kind of thing that works with like a card game.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, I've seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! AR stuff.
I will say it would be neat though if that table could be in different places and that AR system was like a board that they sold you. Like if it was a custom 8x8 square that says, okay, it's going to be 2D, but if you use your phone, this would not be alternate reality 3D.
And you're not already in person. If you're in different places, that sounds good. If you're in person, why don't you just play the game?
You're saying in different places, like the board syncs from one place to another. See, that's something I don't think I've seen.
I know.
They do that for chess boards that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is our like tabletop all-in-one piece of hardware that syncs the battle map between places?
Upload the battle maps, you can do the grills of characters, you say, are you putting them here? You can't
But
do this.
that doesn't make money because instead you just have everybody buy a whole bunch of different things that all do one very niche thing.
The subscription way is what you would do. You would say, you would do updates, and just like in fighting games, you won't be like, oh, you don't have to use it, but you can now move your characters with literally a touchscreen. Like, oh, it's Bluetooth now.
Yeah,
Oh,
the thing, you gotta buy the figures.
or yeah, just
It's gonna be some
The role-playing model.
I mean, I would think it would be neat, especially in a format where other people could see the game right in front of them. Like, if
Yeah,
it was,
I think mixed, to me, over COVID especially, I have had the most success with mixed digital into real life gaming. So, Brendan, see, this is the thing where it's like, we need the slides. So they're click. So, Paranoia was the big campaign we did over COVID. And I mean, I ran some online games like through, I think it might have been through Zoom. And it was just, that was right at the beginning of COVID, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. It's just, I've been running with my, big fancy tables and the miniatures and stuff. And I was like, if I put all the money into these miniatures, I want the miniatures in the game, right? So it was, so what we wound up doing was rigging a sort of immersive experience where we rigged lights up at everyone's houses online, queue lights.
Oh, okay.
So, when they enter a chamber in the game, everyone's lights in their room and all of their different houses would change and reflect what's going on, and we would do things like power outages, and because of Paranoia, so like sci-fi and terrible and shoddy, it's like the power would go out, everyone's rooms would all go dark at once. And so all the players had to worry about wasn't, logging into a Roll20 system or anything, it was just a camera. And then I would have the board as well in a physical room with physical lights, so that when the power went out, it went out here for me, for the board, for the menus, and everything. And it was nice. It was a nice mix of feeling like you're in person and also playing online remotely. But the one thing I just don't like is I hate robbing agency of players, and it's like, if I have all the pieces and you have to tell me to move them and I'm doing all the work, it's like, I wish I could put these minis in your hands and you could get the tactile feeling of being there.
all right, I'm not going to request this as a feature to this thing that doesn't exist, but if we had that virtual board and the player wants to move somewhere, they do that and you can accept it as a GM. Like, that would be neat. Like, you'd be like, they want to do something, and you can accept or deny, and then it automatically updates because there's another game that has that kind of system already online, where you have to put in the request, and it says yes, and then you just, but that's another thing, and this is the second thing I think I was going to talk about earlier, is about tailoring the game to your players, because some people thrive on the online Metascape, and some people, they don't get certain elements, but they understand what they understand. And like bridging that gap is done a lot easier in person because you can go back and forth and just say, all right, we'll move this here. But on digital, that same person just won't be able to explain it in that same way. And I feel like that's a disconnect that I wish was attacked more.
Why is it easier to talk to players in person? Like, it's like a basic, like the conversation at the table, in a real table, just feels so seamless to just like engage.
You're feeling the souls of those.
And then online, it's like you're in a waiting room or something. You have to be patient, and it's like
the soulless.
the crosstalk doesn't exist. And
Because we're all sharing the
oh
same.
my god.
Mics too. People that don't have the hardware to do online stuff, when they start trying to use all these things and it starts stuttering their system, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, the internet
hurdles.
Yeah.
But I mean, we make it work. We make it work. I mean, Kyle has run.
How many online campaigns have you successfully run at this point?
Campaigns? Just campaigns?
Maybe we got like anthology one-shots, groups of one-shots or whatever, like projects.
Probably over 200.
Over 200 online.
If you count like one-shot games that add into a campaign.
Am I allowed to plug Vicarious Tabletop here? Am I allowed to be like,
You
don't
can,
like-
sure, but I don't, yeah.
If you're interested in where Kyle has been playing all of these games, you can go check out Vicarious Tabletop on YouTube and Discord. And, but
A lot of those other communities, that's the beauty of this hobby, is when I started streaming, other streaming communities started reaching out to me, and I started like running games for them on their channels, charity events and stuff like that. And it was beautiful. And then you get to meet these people and intermingle, and you learn so much. You can learn so much online. You do have the hamstrings, like you do have the restrictions that online provides or mandates. But it gives you so much more broad spectrum to meet the people. You just don't have that connection that we can have here.
I agree, because that's when, I shadowed away from that, because like I said, I did it in the shadows, because I knew I would be like, talked or like have to deal with like the interaction, and I was at the point where I think because I did it when I was first starting to cut it, I could have like, year 2 in, I could have did the streaming thing, and I was like, nah, I'm already, yeah, and then I was like, that's work.
Yeah, and if you watch it long enough, that kind of, it's volatile. It's strange. I don't understand how the online TTRPG community is volatile. I've seen some nasty things happen and communities fall, and I don't understand where we're here to play and spend time with each other. Maybe that's the lack of connection that you have from online, but it was weird. Like
the disconnects that happen over time that just start like flare-ups, and there's no real, I'm not talking about mental health here, but mental health about playing the game. And that's why I think I liked one-shot, 3 shots, like campaigns that had a set idea, not even just MacGuffins.
I have a question for both of you. These communities, these games, has it been primarily with strangers you meet through the internet?
those are the ones. Both for me.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Friends that I've seen say things in the game that are like, dang. And random people that are like, wow. Like, all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the open communities, the inclusive communities are wonderful because they're inclusive, and you get to meet a plethora of different people, and it's wonderful. But at the same time, then you get like sneaky people. I about started swearing there.
You're allowed to swear. I know we're on camera, but you can say it.
Sneaky motherfuckers coming into your community and affecting other people's time. And in person, that's easy. It's like, hey, he's speaking, give him a chance to talk. That's easy in person, but online, you have to stop them and then hold the whole thing, and it's just, it can be volatile. Now, when it's a particular group, if you handpick your players or your
good stuff.
That's
good stuff.
That can be a beautiful thing.
That's why I never handpicked Craig.
I'm a sneaky motherfucker.
There's this QuelmarCon quote.
But it's strange how, we shit on the online gaming scene for a lot of reasons in that it can't imitate on like in-person gaming. Like it tries, and we've got so many solutions and so many attempts and approaches to get it as close to in-person, but it fails ultimately, right? But it is like you cannot deny that the online interaction of finding people and the outreach, just the way the web opens up, like the spider web, is like such, like if we're going pros or cons, like fuck. Like have players and people to meet and know who are always happy and really ready to be around the play.
Or to stay in contact with people who aren't true.
Yeah.
But I will also say the searchability of some things that you can just type into a search bar and get the answers for like rule loring situations. You don't have to follow through the book. You could just be like, no. Oh! I've done that!
Yeah, there. I didn't want to take this up yesterday, right?
Oh my god.
Real time.
Yeah.
Screen share is a beautiful thing.
That fast upkeep of data is what I like. Google Sheets, for example, to manage certain things about campaigns I like to use, like for HP turns and so on and so forth. Yeah, you can do that in person, but clicking the button, having it go to all the apps actually have evolved so greatly for maintaining characters, your campaign, items, new books. I'm currently using one to like keep track of my Lich.
Yeah, I mean, apps are basically, you take Roll20 and you micro-size it and bring it to a real table. That's an app, right? It gives you the dice rolling, it gives you the digital sheets, it gives you everything you like for Roll20, but it lets you take the distance out of the equation.
Like for your game tomorrow, that's how I was at work. I didn't have paper. That's how I created the character sheet on Roll20.
Same.
Yeah, it's so easy on there. I did all the stats and everything on Roll20 just so I had it ready for the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's easy.
So it's like you can bring the digital to the physical, and it can have great benefits and no downsides really. And if you are doing it, with the apps, to build on top of what you can't.
One big Excel sheet is what I use.
That's right. I hated your sheet. I hated it.
I can't believe you hated your sheet. I coded in a long rest and short rest button for all of my characters. All I gotta do is look up the definitions for the magic items.
Well, it was like, I'd like to see your character sheet. Like, let me see what your modifiers or whatever. And it's like, oh, he's got a digital sheet. Okay. He's got a like handwritten Google sheet of all of the everyday
Google Doc. It's got formulas. You can double check everything.
But if it had tabs, that was like the basic. See,
It's got 5 tabs.
Look, as a game master, it's like I need
about
this
to
to be
say,
fast.
I said 5 tabs.
It's got an instructions tab, a stats tab,
You hear yourself.
a combat tab, and a spells
You've
tab.
just proven that there are wrong ways to do apps.
And then a
in the game.
master tab with all of the spells that exist.
Okay, so I also wanted to say like the Google Sheet is great. But I wish there was somewhere that you could have as a community like the digital golden nuggets that are like this out of this is great. This out of this is great. That's how I found like one of the most recent character sheet things that I got online. There was a chart that said this has this, and I literally looked for the one thing that had all of what I wanted.
What's the sheet?
It's what do you think?
Well, I swear by NPMB, more purple, more better makes a sheet.
Is that the one that's on phones?
It works on everything. It's a PDF that's just like magic.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. I was gonna use that one, but then I said there's a one for my phone. It's a fifth.
Is it an app?
Yes.
Oh.
And it does everything.
Oh, and
What is this magic app that does everything for our D&D players out there?
I just downloaded it. So 5E Companion.
5E Companion.
Yep, I like it.
Complex name.
Yeah.
5E Companion. I thought it was a legit one. I know it's just fan made and great. But I like those apps when they come out, like a good version of something, and you don't have to do all the waiting, and it's just good out the box. The UI is clean. It has where everything should be, where it should be. Even
You know what you can do it on a self-made Google Doc?
I do that.
In a button that uses your own hit dice logic to roll your hit dice automatically on the
I
chart.
don't want to hear about your.
Did you macro every cell in that?
I use Google Sheets, so it's just
Oh, okay, just the sheets.
Yeah, it's all JavaScript.
That is That's a lot of. That sounds like a lot of.
I do like Google Sheets and coding like that. I do. I would like
It wasn't
it.
that much. The hit dice was annoying.
That's good.
RJ, have you ever played D&D online?
No, I have not. The only time
I'm really curious now, being an outsider, listening to all of this. What sort of opinions are you from? What are you does this make you interested and curious what it's like? Because it's clearly a different atmosphere. It's clearly a different beast.
it's something that I do want to get into, but it's more so just I'm scared to jump in.
The
Yeah.
joys of one shots.
Yeah.
The joys of one shots, because as soon as you don't like something, you gotta go.
Have you done that? Have you bailed on an online session?
I have my character in character soul, and then when I'm not in it, I just mute or do something else. Because sometimes when I'm like, I don't know you, I don't have the time, energy, soul, method, or
I got a confession. I did it once.
oh.
I did it once. I had a game.
I knew that's what you were doing during Kiston.
No, Kelsey, I don't know if you were in the game. Brendan was in the game. But I had a game that an hour in, my character died. And the game was scheduled for 3 hours. Correct.
Oh, yes. That was
And the character died, and I'm oh, so we were gonna hang out all night and play this game together, but and
Real monsters, real.
he got shot. He got shot, and he was like,
You and I were
"Speaking people don't kill people, guns kill people."
the only ones that were fighting, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, I was it's an hour in, and they're all I sat there for a half hour, watched them fight. They're all doing their thing. They're all vengeance. Kill Sesher died. Let's kill these devils. And I was I'm so out of it at this point. I gotta go. I'm done.
And you left
Yep.
the call. Dang. You shut off your camera and then you left the call.
I was,
I do soft leave. I don't do hard leave. I do soft leave.
a bold move, and we were all like, yeah, that's very James.
It's a very James.
It's not a hard or soft move. It's a James.
It's a James.
The very classic,
He does
I'm
that
gonna
every
go,
When last
and I'm not gonna respond or explain.
Have you done it? Just bailed on a game.
I'm mostly up until recently. I'm mostly a forever DM.
That's
so
true.
Dang.
I can't really leave the game.
Yeah, guys, I'm not feeling it.
What was the thing about this game is it was one of the first times you were actually playing, right?
It was. I was because as the forever DM, I was saying the same thing. I was always running the games, and then when we went online, Kevin was interested in running games, and it was a nice atmosphere. Get a few friends online, low pressure. He was running the maps in PowerPoint or something. Really low, easy thing. But I was getting to play for once, and I was what's it like as a player? Oh, I'm gonna sit here for 2 hours dead. I don't think I like being a player. That feeling did not linger. I do like playing now. Strahd has been incredible. The Strahd campaign Bomar's running, but it was a rocky start to get to play. And it was online, like we said. I've got my feelings about online play.
Something we should probably touch on. Have you guys ever used online? Have you ever used safety tools?
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Does everyone know what those are?
X-Guard and all that. RJ, do you know what safety tools are? Would you like to tell RJ what safety tools are?
So there's various methods of implementing this into a game. But it's basically saying, I want this, I don't want this, kind of okay, but don't get crazy with it. And you say that before you play a game so that the way the DM, other players know what the limits are and what should be fading to black.
I think you mentioned something similar in the time you played.
I did Monty Bales whenever I ran in the shop for them.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the concept. The concept, what do you call it? It's not an unfamiliar concept. People have different names for it, but it's limits.
Do you have the X-Card in yours? Like the X-Card?
I don't, but I've used it before.
Okay, I don't ever needed to in my games, but I've always offered that as or silent. That way they can just send it to me.
I mean, we have, Kelsey, we have, Tyler was very responsible and sent us that massive list of.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it too was that's not dated.
Yeah, that was actually really nice. So every so often we check in and update them.
Wasn't Band-Aid the limit for somebody?
That was an example from one of my online games.
What's the story there?
a player in my campaign online. I do lines and veils for all my games, and he had a line of mayonnaise. But he's like, you can say the word, you can mention it, it's like the sound, talking about it textually and sound.
I
sound
understand.
of it. Yeah, it just does something. And that's safety skills are important because I didn't. It's not that I didn't know about them, but I didn't realize the urgency of me needing it until I had a session where when I was streaming. One of my players got up and left. I thought, she had animals and stuff that she would often, put up to the camera, and we would all gush over the animals. So I thought maybe she was taking an animal out or something. She left for like 5 minutes and then came back. And I didn't think anything of it. And then after the game, she said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I had to walk away." And it was a scene that had to do with fire. An extensive description of fire. It was like a dream sequence for another player. And she said it was too much. Yeah. And I'm like, from then on, there was always, I needed to know what the lines and veils were.
There's a lot of players like that out there.
And that's another note you'll never know either. Because especially in like the concept of at the table, some people don't want to say that loud to everyone else. And and that's one of the digital pluses, is you can send out a form and everyone fills it out and you know how to address it without addressing that person.
And they can fill it out anonymously so they don't put pressure or self-conscious about it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's got that sort of anonymous factor, when you, for instance, with the Reading Green one-shots, when you bring lines of veils into play, that can be challenging, because you can't really just like open the table up and be like, "Hey everybody, what are you sensitive about?" So it's, I wonder if there's a system in place, like a envelope, I don't know.
I've done it at the table. We can always do it over Discord. Discord again is just so good. It's just so good. They can DM you because you're already in the same server, and or you can have private chats. Like if they DM you and say, "Hey, I'd really like to specify, talk about it," you can talk about it before the game, before game day.
Also, speaking of forms and lines and veils, I have Google Forms that allows you to edit your responses. So before the games, I'm like, update your sheets in terms of your veils and lines and veils. So if they do have something that has changed, they can put that in as well. And then I'm like, all right, these are the lines and veils for this game.
I was going to say, what's great about the Google Forms, or the Google Sheets, I think, is, I think the Sheets specifically, you can set, email me when it gets updated.
Yes.
So even if you're not checking it every single game, because it's kind of a chore to recheck every time, if it's the same every time. But if you've got the email, it's like, oh, I now know, hey, so-and-so has updated this veil, this is a new sensitive topic. So that's really convenient. You never have to keep checking. Like with Tyler, it was just sort of a staggered thing. Like we did it once at the beginning, and we did it once a year later. But yeah.
I understand that. Time.
I think it definitely falls on the DM in terms of
How they answer it. You want a microphone, Kelsey?
it's okay. We don't need to broadcast this. But I definitely think it falls on the DM. I just think it falls mostly on the DM to own. If you're going to have the opportunity to do things like to update, and it's really on the make sure and then making them aware, hey, this is a new thing. You want to update it for every session. This is a new thing, and you're just doing your homework as the DM, not just knowing what you're going to do. You're calibrating the session, what is changing, and then what you're going to do.
Especially when you have those sessions that are halfway through, and somebody who's not feeling it for a session they're going into the next session with that fear and dread. Not dread,
It can really ruin a moment and a game.
And the way with mental health, people will just harbor that, and then it will come out in some weird way down the line that, wow, that happened. Why? But it was like you could have stopped it. They could have.
RJ, if you need help, if you're interested in taking a look at an easy way to get into the online sphere, getting into a game, just let me know. I'll show you that it's super easy.
Honestly, I doubt you'll remember, but please remind me the next time I see you in person. like after QuelmarCon, because I'm going to be pretty busy this summer with work.
Are you leaving?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not going to be in town, so you're not going to be playing anything here.
yeah, no, I can't. I only came back for the con.
Nice.
Aw, that's awesome.
You love it.
Well, that and to see Jen.
I was going to say, I mean, Jen is here, and kind of like your girlfriend, but yeah.
You know, that's the other thing.
I'm so glad you and Jen are both here.
I'm glad to be here.
You should talk to Jen about her experiences, because Jen,
So in Greedy Green, we just brought like, I don't know, 50 new people into the QuelmarCon community who all live in State College. And Jen is one of 2 of the Greedy Greeners who actually translated from Greedy Green in-person State College Game Store games to playing in online campaigns. So they met us through something like this, just hanging out, and then they saw, in Jen's case, Rose's campaign. And Jen then started playing online.
Yeah, she was playing supers during the semester.
That's right. And then Nick Peters is the other one. I don't know if Nick Peters is here. I don't know if Nick Peters is here.
He's right there.
He can't hear us. They can't hear us down there. But yeah. So I was gonna say you should talk to Jen about online gaming, because she did what you're talking about. She started in person with us in Quelmar, and then she was like, I'm going to just go for it. There's an open opportunity, and
she just, she jumped into supers.
And I also want to say for the digital pro is the time that it could take and like not take to do digital games. Because like being able to set like hard limits, clock reminders, Google Calendar invites, Google scheduling, because herding people together for a long game session is hell. It's like, and especially when people think they can and they can't, and then certain out. But like digital, you can be like, first 3, done.
Yeah. And also prep for digital games is so much nicer.
Oh yeah.
It really is. Oh my god. It's all already on your computer. It's just like put it in the right folder and
You can BS your way through the literal game and just.
And you can search things so quickly because you're already on it. It's like, it's true. That's the other pro. We're talking about why online gaming is good and prep from the Game Master seat. Yeah, it's nice. Online gaming.
Someone looks you in the eye during a game. Can I do this? You're like, do I answer it right now? Or do I look in this book? At that moment you say, I gotta make a decision. And it's always like this
Make
weird...
a call right now and invent the rule, or waste time and pull up the book and be like, okay, which book? Did I bring the right book? Yeah, no, for real. Any last thoughts on, we've obviously, we sort of like shat on online gaming and then we sort of came back around.
I never shat on the online gaming. Okay, I just want to clear the record for my soul.
Yeah. You're the one who played in Zoom.
Oh, no, I played in Roll20. You the one who played in Zoom. No.
I played in all of them. I guess I'm the hussy. I did. Yeah. But yeah, for real, we did start off a little negative, but that's it's such a good tool, and it's optional. It's not mandatory.
There is room for both.
Yeah.
Maybe Quelmar 2023 will have a QuelmarCon online factor. Have some games people can play online together that we can.
What you got, buddy?
My comment is, I was in I'm part of a social group back home, and during COVID, we did our yearly convention online through Discord, and while it wasn't a failure, it was certainly... It might be different because, it might be different because you're doing games and such, but there was just something missing.
Yeah, I do want to thank the evolution of digital media, because if it had stayed the way it was and there was no competition, no.
Dave, food trucks here till 2?
Till 2, yes.
Thank you.
How long is stay longer for you? Can you forward me the spreadsheet
Of what spreadsheet?
that you sent him?
Yeah, I think I can.
To vet it down, make it easier for him to
I think I can, yeah.
Sorry. Is that it for this?
I'm starving and the food truck has been here for an hour, so I think we can call it for digital gaming. I'm really glad that RJ was here to be our sort of like, he doesn't really know about digital gaming and what it's like, and we get to sort of show him our history. But that's fun.
Yeah, definitely let us know in the Discord. Keep up, like let us know.
I'll stop the recording, but there you go. Panel 1. Thanks for coming, guys.